Hello, dear Fox News Justice, Your Honor, dear Your Honor, Mr. Judge Napolitano. You said before that everything's in writing with courts. Since I was a kid, they demonstrate. They just put charges and they record and confess and demonstrate that they're making up all kinds of things that they're faking into databases, like sequence shifts, attaching the little kids through time to fake locations and exploiting that intercampuses with the database crime method. That's also sustained on off campuses. Natures of identity theft and identity fraud. Natures of worse than that. In other words, since founding, per the per the organized crime method, that recorded used color. No one naturally would do that. Would have that. That was entrenched here since before our founders' births, who obviously didn't have free speech because of the database relationships tied to the organized crime that uses human fact sheet nature in layers, all motivations, natures, needs, and styles other than what is required by an as fact sheet nature with sequence true. And actually, what is the value to the order of the finite, the order to what is active quality of fact sheet nature simultaneously and progressively as value, because it is a little bit more than that. What is going to cause logic as criminal insidiousness nature, needing to keep sustain positive progression through negative as negative, distinctly from our nature with logic that is not criminally foreign influenced. And so, Your Honor, the judicial branches recorded delusions raw, involved with fact cheating nature racketeering with words like morality, with already defended it, with roles with shock and awe, with roles with religion, religious rights. We have all kinds of racketeering with especially ones with badges, especially ones without it, foreign and domestic in collusion, leading up to in the Trade Center attack context, and since it, intermilitary, Pentagon, a whole bunch of people associated with the name Joe DeMauro, a whole bunch of people associated intercampuses with this, a whole bunch of people associated with UConn through time. I just remind. See, they use these names charged. They're using the identities. They're keeping victim predators. There's a lot great about any campus everywhere it is. If you don't value that properly, negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures are in demonstration of it. See, but that was never valued properly. So, and not only was it was per the method that from off the ground of education on off campuses and layers maintained methodically, effectively, the real causes of those negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures, acts like predicate acts, natures like wrongdoing, blame them on other causes, other things in self. And so those Santa's elves can work because one identity of value progression that is all that is the system. In other words, every identity of value progression individually grouped in at once. Only the extent of it is debatable. That there is a system there as that, as an identity of that, as an identity of relationship to that. Where and how we are an increasing nature of volume, as the ancients revealed, because they were valuing sequence true and how you cause evolution and its fruits and gifts before sciences became criminally foreign influence in some ancient times, since before modern religions, now inherited to a quality of fact sheet nature that forces leaders, you know, distinctly and non-distinctly, each position of the human fact sheet nature, and modern nations are in an identity of negative value nature progression. Everyone needs to react to it. They need to blame those predicate acts on the groups. This is juxtaposed with is controlling the overt criminal enterprises down to the finite roles by uses by the recorded needed and how facilitated live progressions from each nature of court on off their state judicial branch offices, on off the state prison offices, first involved with database crimes, drug crimes of uses for it. See, what do you think the motives are for what really furthers the drug crimes? They say, oh, they let other people think. Their motives are their nature of child abuse and their method recorded on off the campuses. Now, this is also why they have town offices with Russians involved, a whole bunch of mail crime, wire crime, offensive evidence reception crime rules, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with the corner of Maple Street and Griswold Street, with other corners on that street. Recorded, confessed, involved criminal uses of a LaPera family with another house on the corner of that street. Other criminal uses of a Brown family by people involved with mail crimes, mail racketeering, and wire racketeering facilitated to it from former director of the FBI down into foreign and domestic military criminally involved. Private over criminal enterprises criminally involved. Policing of the store is shared. Whole bunch of people associated with CCSU and Trinity College with this. I can't get a response because they forge names and switch names. They attach me to fake locations. No, a whole bunch of people from New York City associated with the name Alicia. A whole bunch of women that were girls that were first involved with racketeering in the form of sequence shifts, for example, not even debatable. But they're trying to pretend things with passions and emotions as being coerced to it because they were also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with offensive evidence reception crimes with with people on and off CCSU, on and off Trinity College, on and off UConn since before I even knew about those schools. It was, in other words, there were a whole bunch of people further involved with natures of crimes of the kid, but everyone's as our sensibilities. I'm going to use Jane Austen's phrase, sense and sensibilities. No, this is probably a phrase that came before them in relationship to how they have to speak about the law, but as natures that haven't been able to since same ancient times. It just reminds. That's what demonstrably why they had to ask Saint Nicholas for help how to defend the church, how the church is going to defend their positions on positive when everyone's forced to be fake. Criminal insidious nature of positive. So you can't be about logic. You guys are with all kinds of fact cheating nature racketeering roles with private too, with psychology, especially ones with badges, especially ones all various natures of courts tied to them, Your Honor. We have means to instant evolution. As we have means to instantly look and discern that the identity of correlation by what is people stack, how that and how it was influenced by zoning laws and by a pathology of a tactically denatured relationship to nature that you can't deny was involved with the torture and slavery, fact treating nature, slavery of our founders. Now, who would deny that can only do it with tricks, self-valuing, criminally foreign influence sciences. In other words, pseudo-positive already self-valued, precedents, statutes, criminally foreign influence already self-valued, already weaponized. Not one has rise. Now, well, all must realize. So as fast as they hurt people's lives like that each day, each second, they say, "Oh, it's their fault." This is sustained, sick intercampuses of each age, interjobs, all forced. Oh, we're this type of expert. The science is sharing identity. These are all victim predator roles originally and still. You can't defend that and also at the same time private. So what's it used? Worse than terrorism. Categorically. methodically, distinctly, and non-distinctly, so right through time. This is what I'm trying to talk. This is another method of organized crime, but it involved the evidences are who's denying it. Interbranch, they're forging names, switching names, sticking things into databases in the background, pretending to perceive things. So this is their crimes with preventing written, and not only do they prevent writing, they offensively use that for torture, showing that they have like a whole bunch of people involved with the detective Sumudo who pretend that he would meet to locations with him that never were. He was never an arresting officer of me. I was in a hospital that under his stewardship. It's out of his mind. He's a real sick guy involved with child crimes, with all kinds of racketeering crimes, with proven further with the family members of child sex offenders, of people involved with this, with my new and past neighbors, with this, with judges and with prosecutors involved, all kinds of people involved with medical corruption, foreign and domestic, overt criminal enterprises, criminal uses of the witness protection program, also the same houses they use it, all victim predators. They need sequence shifts now. They need no one to put anything in writing. I begged. Facebook is so involved with that this nature of database, this method of database crime. This attaching people to fake locations, right? This has deans forging and switching names. I play no games. I would never. They put me in jail. I have no record. I want to keep it that way. I don't want to go to the sick place, but they pretend they're trying to stop. They're pretending they're trying to stop recidivism by hiding their crimes with their federal with the worst criminals, but with them before they went in there. Like I tried to call to report things tied to confessions tied to a grammar school on off it through time. I didn't explain that to the people who made confessions to me that who are strangers know. In the patterns, that's what they use in the drug crime for. They use the whole drug clicks. They buy it from the same people, and they're using that because they have an organized crime racketeering method with that. Because now they have a place where they can affect fact cheating nature, where they're going to affect the response from it. Then they're going to make that self value, and that's just value it originally. Still, everyone's how it's just the way people treat each other. We have the same criminally foreign influence states and areas and campus database relationships maintained, and uses of that standing and of that as a criminal procedure and as live progressions from there used. Now they have women and men with sensibilities, opinions about what they don't even know what I'm talking about. But they're associated with the people that what I'm talking about. I want to report the crime acts, the threats, the crime methods recorded on off the campuses sustained. Now these are people see this is distinctly and non-distinctly hurting each person individually grouped together. Every difference per its needs by to keep each age of fact treatment nature, valuing correlation natures, trinity obfuscated, fake middles, physical delusions, fake empathy, fake care, fake righteous aggression. These are gun crime rules. These are gun crime rules, natures of gun crimes into branch, individually grouped together. You guys can't. You guys are preventing free speech. You guys are attaching us to. They have women attaching me to fake yelling. To Dr. Brendan Leahy, with two people with Brendan Leahy, bunch of their brothers of one of the Brendan Leahys, associated with a whole bunch of doctors associated with also with the Yagman family. Two Mendes police, drugs through time, used for their roles with the courts that are attaching people to fake locations. They're maintaining criminally foreign influence roles with the shared policing of the on off campus state streams, like with Dakota and Rocky Hill, like with that Mexican restaurant there, recorded and confessed involved with people, foreign and domestic families. white power, Mexican, even a black female judge, other female judges, crimes with overt sex offenders' families, people associated with this Detective Dillon, people associated with WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, federal crimes, a whole bunch of police forms, forming the director of the FBI down, mayors, retired and standing, the interbranch police associated with Enzo Fienza, state police, people of crimes with the forensics labs with them through time, people of crimes with them with the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso. And these are people associated crimes with overt Latin criminal enterprises, crime acts rolls with the ones with other Italian criminal enterprises, other Latin criminal enterprises, and other private ones with the people that are on off the campuses connected, especially regarding the medical campuses, especially regarding these sick detectives pretending to meet at fake locations, forging names, switching names, a whole bunch of police forms from a whole bunch of different towns. And they began that with a promise to appear given to someone else, given to me indirectly. They kept pretending to be making mistakes. They're hiding their lie progressions. They're hiding their racketeering roles. This is straight since from before the Trade Center attack in that context and since from Connecticut. The same ones intercampuses involved with the racketeering. Dawson reportedly that this Claudia Scalera had sex. She told someone that. For the people that I don't know her, with Joe DeMauro, and that's involved with reportedly her cousin, which is involved. They have all kinds of insidious things like that to use to keep the sensibility of people involved with what keeps states and areas criminally foreign influence systems. Quality of fact treatment nature originally and still can't defend that and heal our problems, and let alone teach the Forsaken about how to counter their less worse than not let free speech. Offensively, they're in positions for this organized crime method that is distinctly and non-distinctly not letting free speech in the suburbs. The same ones involved with the intercampuses now. See, because that was maintained through time. I just remind. So then they have Narcan, all those identity, like they have positive treatments where it counts the most, where we have this racketeering with medicine, with healthcare, and see that has already been bled into the other actual healthcare, actual medicine needs. See, we have all value treatments as fake positive, and all the roles with that as the branches are already live progressions from each spot. The databases of Fox Connecticut News, Your Honor, please help. Have the judges pick one name in sequence. They have forging names, switching names. These are identity of the ground, relationship to our quality of fact treatment nature. Roles with their nature, identity theft with that, because this is how they get whole group sequence shifting. A whole bunch of people associated with a Casper family recorded and confessed to demonstrate involved federal crimes with a Dr. Dingleberry and a Dr. Dewberry, with a whole bunch of judges involved crimes with federal crimes with a Leahy family, and with further people involved crimes with them, with child sex offenders further involved, other natures of racketeering too, with tied to the families that were involved with that already. Now, these are a whole bunch of people in the Britain Superior Court, a whole bunch of racketeering natures and roles and methods recorded, actually recorded natures. Uses of two Mendez pleas. Phil Cololo also recorded and confessed involved as these clicks involve federal crimes with the state forensics labs since I was a baby. These are people, Enzo Fienza and a whole bunch of people tied to this Dillon family, or my new and past neighbors, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved crimes that with FBI, with the foreign and domestic, with uses of the witness protection program, also uses of the senses and sensibilities of family members they're lying to about behind my back, including my sister since I was a kid, because these are This is a database crime method that knows where you're going to walk. They know they're the ones dealing all the drugs. They 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 have people confess, demonstrate, and record their roles with racketeering with offensive evidence reception because you're going to walk by then. Then you need to report that years later. You don't even know the people's name. They're forging names, switching names. There are a whole bunch of people with a Joshua Joshua Julian and the Joshua Stryker recorded, confessed, involved with the child offenders with the adult campuses tied to the adult whatever age tied to the child campuses of each age. There are further a whole bunch of people associated with the house in my area recorded, confessed, and demonstrated federal crimes with a whole bunch of people tied to a Bob Chase and with Dr. Graham, who is a female. But there are also male foreign and domestic doctors of psychology involved with racketeering with the kids, formal drug crimes, crimes with databases, and with physical delusions recorded too long. With boxing is strong, but give us rest. I tell best. This is worse than extortion, Your Honor. Facebook is worse than monopoly and election crime rolls and uses to keep the FBI pretending they're against what they are for. They are misprision criminality, individually grouped and together, whole wire crime methods recorded, then pretending other. Oh, quote that statute, leave out the exceptions. They're high predators. We are this clear trinity. We are this clear body of value. Otherwise, we are negative value nature system. We owe this to the Forsaken. We owe them free speech. We owe our minds this to admit it. We owe the means to, because see, no one can fathom it because no individual group are all together. The human, even if all nations agree to be the knaves, this system's together. Sick. It won't be able to afford means to counter the tactically denatured relationship to nature that was made self-value here. It means a pure, it's native pure. I'll teach you, sure. You guys, please help. You know, you know, I'll sign with. I don't have. I won't sue you. I just need it fast because I need to counter what has been since I was a kid. This is a sustained. This is missed. They're pretending they're about vetting and things like that. They're nuts. CCSU, a whole bunch of people tied with this Pruzzi guy too, and with this Leahy family. Please have them onto paper because there are various natures of courts and of judges, very sick predators with them and they're forging names, switching names, faking conversations with me. Whole bunch of people in the Britain Superior Court through them to time. Now, how could they deal with trial trafficking when they're attaching people to fake locations through time? I just remind, it's way worse. It's way worse. Please, Your Honor, let me show you guys how to be great. Because not one has been yet. You guys never, you branches. I know you. If anyone, you could do. You could be strong, because no one's been strong. They're keeping. These are not means. One word redeems. Please, Your Honor. Please get me a response. And Facebook, how are we going to deal with this? They prevent counters to offensive identity theft rackets. The offensive evidence racketeering. They're preventing counters to them stacking since I was a kid. Fake things in databases. Now they have these Mendez police faking recorded things by police interbranch together. These Mendez brothers. Now these are people involved with and as the sources of CCSU, criminally foreign influence, leading up to any trade center account, criminal uses of Saudis. They don't care about what our directors attach them to. They're just trying to counter the knave they keep each fake sides defending, valuing how we're grouped unnatural from the way nature groups us, individually grouped in species nature of value. Because then that maintains self-valued. The real causes of negative value nature progressions, action nature is blamed on other things, others themselves. And worse, we must all rehearse So WFSB should fix their fake news, please, because these are also people involved with the sources. These are state police. See, they just defend. They use that. They have forgiveness is for this, but they have no forgiveness for what they've sustained. They're not. They have no. They're not admitting. These are high predators against the north end of Hartford. How facilitated the polling colleges, maintained identity of the ground. This is off the identity of the ground of education on off it labors, maintained how recorded. Use DACA as a means to facilitate. All victim predators, everyone helped by things is hurt by them other ways, not by accident. We have the human value nature system is as one that is effectively having been maintained, breaching organized crime method, maintain self-value, tactically ulterior from the one that causes positive value nature progression since semi-ancient times. And this is the devil, most logically, is an organized crime method. And so Jesus Christ helped save English, a value that is hyper, positive, or negative. It was revealed by the species working together by valuing, understanding, discerning how we are and why we are as each individual, a, a divided group, and a bonded species simultaneously. Because the simultaneous nature is a demonstration of what causes positive evolution and its fruits and gifts are what force that our value leaves, lethal IDs. This is Earth's simultaneously distinct and non-distinct relationship to the complete identity that is three semi-natures of volume, inherent, active, and progressive, while it is simultaneously five semi-natures. As one, and we'll examine this because, in other words, it's the identity of space, identity of forever, distinctly and non-distinctly. And then it is simultaneously their identities are shared too. And then that we are in the range of positive. Positive's course is maintain self-value, criminal and seditious nature's justifications of his fact-cheating nature. We were led to take the position as victim Oz needing to blame a group for the predicate acts associated with the Trade Center attack. That's a crime method/S they use to keep negotiated worse than terrorism, Trade Center value, suit and tie, fake positive. Oh, we have to pretend we're positive because then when we have negotiations against Russia because they have the bombs and we have the bombs, they have no integrity. Just because they have the sophistication to make a bomb, that's not sophistication. That's sophistication because they had someone already, the ancient revelation, the ancient, what really revealed the value of the ancient republic for which we stand. The Campus Marcius, the timeless course, way returns. One way alone. We must all come home. Please, religion, Your Honor. All we need for instant evolution and answers is recorded. I'll teach them morality because they are the same way I could teach the overt criminal enterprises, but they have to be taught together. Can't give up. You can't leave them high predator roles with the same overt. They're the ones really furthering them because of their roles and uses with the racketeering with the foreign and domestic families. Uses of the database relationships, uses of identities of nothing, pretended something, and way the worse than unequally. And then so what they have to do offensively, pretend they're about equality, pretend they're against by pretending they're against things offensively. They're forcing sustained crimes, sustained uses of Facebook for the worst natures of child abuses, the worst natures of racketeering, crime acts, and methods recorded. Your Honor, please too. I mean, Facebook, you too. I mean, please, I'm trying to ask you nicely. You guys don't do it. You have you have all the online platforms with AB. This is the choice. Is it this reason that the people don't like you, or let's just deal with the sequence shifts and the rape threats with the kids and the uses of the interbranch family members with their kids hiding their life progressions because they already invested themselves in their kids to federal racketeering, verbal federal crimes, like with this Joshua Julie with the principal child offenders campus. Come on, come on, come on, Facebook. It's way worse than that. It's uses of unions here and there. You guys can't. You miss it. You miss it. You miss it at all. Bill Ball, please. Not you, Your Honor. I'm trying to, because these are people that are using aggression very sickly and with crime methods that are recorded, needing to be reported. These are election racketeering rules with Weathersfield through time, on off the state judicial branch office, on off the state prison offices. Whole bunch of people tied to the house/S in my area with the extended family members, with the whole bunch of people tied to the new and past neighbors criminally involved, with this Dillon family, with the foreign and domestic military. Please give me a response to get them to one name, please, because they don't follow the rules with these courts, and they never did. So value slid. We need you. We need federal stewardships of Connecticut.